And let's talk about the Life of Chuck, the first film that I got to see. It is not yet out in theaters yet. I went to see this in the it was the AMC screen. No, it wasn't AMC. It was another company. It was it Regal? No, it wasn't even Regal. It was Stonecrest. So it was just kind of like an offset. A brand you don't know, that's for sure. But they said, hey, show up at 7:30. It costs $5. You don't know what you're watching. That was the whole thing. And honestly, I was kind of excited because I was like, hey, I don't know what this is. I have no clue. I knew it was rated R. I knew it started at 7:30, and that was it. So I went in, and I don't even think, I mean, I knew it was Mike Flanagan once the kind of beginning credits came up and everything. I don't think the name of the author came through. We'll talk about that there in just a second. But let's get into it. Here's the IMDb plotline. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A life-affirming, genre-bending story based on the Stephen King novella about 3 chapters in the life of an ordinary man named Charles Krantz. This is, of course, directed by Mike Flanagan, written by Mike Flanagan, based upon a short story, or that novella, as they said, by Stephen King. And when they say, "Hey, man, it's based on this novella," in the IMDb description, it ain't no good sign with that one. This is starring a heck of a cast here. Tom Hiddleston, Jacob Tremblay, Benjamin Paget, I can't say, Cody Flanagan. I wonder how Cody Flanagan got that job. Little nepotism, I'll tell you that. Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Mia Sara. Let me tell you something, boys and girls. Let me tell you something. As a man of a certain age, I'm going to tell you this right now. Your girl did it then. She's still doing it now. Woo! Lord! A beautiful lady of an appropriate age. My goodness. Also starring Carl Lumbly, Mark Hamill, Dave Dastmalchian, Matthew Lillard, and many more. Again, like I said, here's Bronson. Everybody, let's take a quick break for Bronson. Say hi, bud. What the hell is going on here? I don't want to be involved with this. I did not give permission to be on screen. All right, so they know. So again, I didn't know anything about this going in. No trailer, saw nothing about it, have no clue. Here's the thing. I'll say this. I did not know that this was a Stephen King joint until the credits rolled and everything. Like I said, I knew it was Mike Flanagan, and I'd seen some Mike Flanagan stuff before. Obviously, all of the things that we recognize, especially from the King stuff, like your Dr. Sleep, which I thought was really good. Again, doctors, I will keep telling people this left, right, and center, man. So the problem mostly is with me is that is the way that the story is structured and stuff like that. I know it's meant to seem like it's unique and interesting. It's not. We kind of go backwards through the life of this guy. I had no clue who the main character was. It is indeed Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston is the Chuck. At the end of this guy's kind of like the end of existence and everything, right? Like all of a sudden, there's a big giant state emergency, worldwide emergency and everything, and the internet goes down, which I will tell you this. I think that is the thing that Stephen King himself is the most scared of, is losing the internet. Because that is what I'm sure he would tell you, oh, I'm doing this to show you that everybody just relies on the internet and stuff now. But every person of every age is doing it. And it just seems like Stephen King is just like, man, if the internet went away, I'd be like hella bummed, dude. There'd be nothing to do. And these cats, they're all acting like the internet is just, is the only thing. I'm watching it just going, this would be the best thing ever. If the internet just kind of poofed out for a good while, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But the world is kind of coming to an end here. Everything's sort of, falling out. Stuff's not really good. But everywhere in sight, all of the people throughout the town see these big giant billboards out there that say, essentially, thanks, Chuck, for your, 39 years of service. And everybody looks at the guy that's on the thing, and he looks just like Tom Hiddleston does today, and they're like, 39 years of service, what the hell's going on here? And you don't know what's going on here. And so I feel like I need to. Yeah, okay, so let's see. We kind of. All right, got it. Because it's tough because we go backwards and stuff here because the story's a little all over the place. It's tough to kind of compartmentalize everything. So they get to the point, and then all of a sudden the world kind of ends, and we stop with the Act 3, and then we go into Act 2. So we go into a younger time throughout his life and whatnot, and then we go through a younger time, and eventually we kind of the stuff with him as a younger child is actually pretty good. As much as you would think Tom Hiddleston was probably in this thing, he's not in it nearly as much as you would think. He's got a cool little dance number and stuff, which is fun. Mark Hamill plays young Chuck's father and everything, and he's good. He's good. I love Mark Hamill as a voice actor, as a people actor. I'm not always the best with him and everything, and this is as close as he's gotten to being really, really good in quite some time. It's still a little corny, some of the writing and stuff, and frankly, that's the stuff that King gives him, and so I can't blame Mark Hamill on account of that. But Hamill's doing a really interesting performance in as much as he's kind of stepping a lot over the he's doing. Don't think of it in the same overacting kind of way, but he's doing a Pacino in a lot of sense, in as much as there's a line of overacting, and he is tap dancing on that line like a son of a bitch. He's happy. He's just he's doing a really good job. He's into what he's doing, but he's almost stepping over the line a couple times where you're like, all right, what are you doing, Hamill? But then he just rings it right back in at the last possible second here. So really, a highlighted performance from Mark Hamill. So good on you, Mark Hamill, for this one. But overall, though, I don't want to call it a sci-fi element because like the kind of IMDb plotline said, it is a little genre bending. There's like a weird, one would think of it as like a Stephen King-y sort of element to it and all that kind of good stuff. Not exactly, but I'll call it Dorian Gray light in a weird, odd sense. But I like ultimately the thing that kind of gets me down and everything is like you don't care enough about the character Chuck in one way, shape, or form. It's just kind of like we're seeing moments from the life that seem, interesting and intriguing enough to a degree. But ultimately, what does it lead to? Like, there's a couple of moments in there that are good, that are a little pulling at the heartstrings and stuff like that. And me, if you know anything about, the podcast over the years and everything, I'm a big baby when it comes to this kind of stuff. You feed me sentimental crap and I'm crying, up a storm here and everything. However, this didn't feel like that to me. This didn't have a lot of that. It felt like fake, phony sentimentalism in a lot of ways. And again, a lot of that stuff usually will get me. It did not in this particular case. And overall, there is because there's some weather events and stuff that kind of are leading to the end of the world here and everything. We get the standard liberal, weather speech and everything, and it's just so ham-fisted, and you're like, okay, I get it. Like Mark Hamill's character is looking at the screen, just goes, even the Republicans was saying, oh, we know that this is a real thing, blah blah blah. Like, it's some real heavy-handed shit, and I don't know. Ultimately, it just felt like if you are. I'll just say, if you're a left-wing person and and you read Stephen King's tweets and you're like, oh, I love this, you'll probably like this movie. Because it's a lot of it's got that same thing where that Stephen King's tweets have, where sometimes you read them, you're just like, oh, this guy's great. And then other times you're just like, oh, Jesus, another opinion. I don't give a shit about that, Stephen King. A rich man complains on the internet. Oh, that's got to be, life's a real pip for you, I'm sure, Stephen. Sure, it's a real bitch. And listen, we don't want to point to the works that you've done. Anyways, I would say I would put this movie on par with, well, I'd say it's a little lesser extent, but I would put this right behind Gerald's Game and the Mike Flanagan filmography and everything. This is very much akin to that as well. Also a Stephen King thing. This takes place in more than one location, but I think that was also what kind of made Gerald's Game a little bit more interesting, was that kind of one location. We need more stuff like that, and maybe a little less stuff like The Life of Chuck, which, you know, forever in a day we're dancing around with a lady, and while a black lady plays the drums and stuff like that, and it's all just like, I don't know, dude. Just it reads like a liberal's wet dream. And it's like it feels like it's so obvious, and I'm like, okay. I mean, if it floats your boat, that's super for you, and you may absolutely love it. But for me, it just felt like the wrong kind of sentimentalism, or at least one that didn't hit well enough for me.